This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
What about our Quasar podcast, The Quantum Zone?
What about our Quasar podcast?
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Wendell Vaughn was the first Earthman ever appointed the protector of the universe. Bonded to the energy-transforming quantum bands that were both weapons and symbols of his station, he fought an ongoing battle to defend all life in the universe from cosmic evil, as the Wizard. Hello and welcome once again to the Quantum Zone. In the middle of your hunt for Red October, I am Phil. Joining me as always, master of the Quantum Zone, but not the internet.
I'm Will. Hey, everyone.
And Mr. Boy, I'm glad Halloween is over, is...
Yes, this is Matt. I'm done recapping Halloween. I have not stopped moving since then. I was in a large parade the other day. We'll talk about it.
Ooh. Nice. All right, so what should we get to first? The words of Fabian Nicieza himself about this arc, or what was Matt doing in a parade?
Let's go with the parade first.
Yes.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with anything we'll talk about for the time being. But so yeah, as you know, I've been cutting I've been lighting the lamp on both sides of the wick. I've been working late hours and getting this recapping 31 Days of Horror movies done. We finally did it, and then the next day, I work for a tourism company called Boston Duck Tours, and when a local championship is won in the world of sports, these are the official parades of it. So I got to be in it, but the catch is that I had to be there at 5:30 in the morning to get on these amphibious land and water vehicles. Even though the parade doesn't start till 11, it's the whole thing. And
Wait. There's a 5:30 in the morning?
No, but the parade. Oh, I get you. I see what you did there. Well, I'm burying the lead, but there wasn't for me. There was a 6 o'clock in the morning when I woke up, and half an hour late to be there for this very important occasion, and I basically broke some speeding laws to get there on time, and had to jump on a moving vehicle while their police escort was yelling at me. So I made it on time. It was a fun, exhausting day, but I have not rested since September, is what I'm saying. I'm here today. I'm excited to talk about the Crossing Line Part 4, Part 1, and I'm happy to be here with you guys.
You need a break, man. You need a break.
Whenever you're late to work, are they like, "What the duck, Kona"?
Well, that's the thing. I'm never late for work. I'm only late for work when I have to do this special parade thing, which was like a volunteer day. So I'm not late when I'm getting paid, but if I'm just, I got paid at a bunch of commemorative Coca-Cola Tall Boys, which is nice. It has the Red Sox World Series championship logo on it, but it's far too much Coca-Cola to consume in like a half a day in this giant can. I don't know.
You heard it here first. Matt has a limit to how much Coke he'll do.
Yeah. Moderation, baby.
All right. So, everyone, if you don't check out the other shows on Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks, you may not know on Tuesday I talked to Mr. Fabian Nicieza. So, yeah, if you listen to the interview, the first thing you'll hear is him berating me for getting his name wrong. But,
Nicieza.
Yes, I asked him about this arc, if he remembered it, because he said he was a big Avengers fan. He's been reading since, 1968. And then he read, he was there every issue till, I think he said Bendis' run. But, yeah, I held up this issue and I said, "Sir, do you remember, here's your trivia, do you remember who wrote this?" He's like, "Yeah, I remember." But, I don't know why I am, doing this here.
here. I'm gonna flash up for the people on YouTube. Yes, I shared this cover with him. It's kind of
322.
Yeah. So I lost it. Oh well. All right. So here, about a minute or so of Fabian in his own words. Here we go. Trip of knowledge on my other show, the Quantum Zone. We're reviewing a arc from 1990. Sir, do you remember who wrote this arc in Avengers?
I remember. You see the
Crossing
line on top of my head? I'm having to do stuff like that. That's no. You know what? It's funny you bring that up because that's so analogous to the situation I'm in now with Nightwing. I mean, a writer quits. John Byrne quits before he's finishing a storyline. Howard Mackey, the editor, asks me to finish his storyline, which I had no idea how he wanted to finish it. And then Howard says, can you do the bi-weeklies? Yeah, sure. We're already about 3 months late on them.
Awesome. That sounds fun.
Inspiration, take a storyline I'd always wanted to do in the Avengers, which was the crossing line, but it was actually going to be a 1-year arc with one issue and 2-part issues built into the totality of the arc. And rethink it to be a bi-weekly storyline.
6 issues, yeah.
And it reads like crap. I hate it. Avengers is my favorite comic book since I was a kid. And I wanted to write it so badly, and I got my wish because I got to write it so badly. So it's always been a sweet sore spot for me. Not in a negative way, just sort of like, it's one of those industry realities where you get to work on something, but you're not happy with what you did or how it turned out, you know?
So what is...
So yeah, if you want to hear the whole interview, it's on Capes and Lunatics for Night News episode 3. But one of the other things, because he said, because I'd forgotten he worked on Alpha Flight, the Alpha Flight book, so that's probably kind of the reason they show up in this. Because he was saying back in the day when you wrote for Marvel, I guess they gave you like 20 or 30 copies of like the books you wrote.
Oh wow!
He even said they had deals back then. You got like books from other publishers too. They had deals with like I think they say DC and Valiant and whoever else was around. So he was getting all kinds of free comic books. But yeah, he's like, when you wrote the book, you got like 30 copies of it. He's like, and nobody needs 30 copies of Alpha Flight 96.
Nice.
So yeah, he didn't like the finished product just because, like you said, he planned it for as like a whole year's arc. Meanwhile, he had to like squeeze it into like 3 months bi-monthly.
Yeah, shrunk issues because there's only like 18, 16 pages per issue.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
There's backup, but I wonder if those backups are there just because because he said they already gave, by the time they gave him the job, it was already late and
3 months behind. Yeah, wow.
I wonder what's so much ticking clocks in this story, though. It's a race against time in 2 regards.
Yes, but
I'm gonna blow up the office.
Oh, hey, I wanted to mention something that I just noticed. Back on, so when this arc started out on, what was it, 320? 319?
319, yeah.
319. We had Thor, Cersei, Iron Man, Cap, and the Vision in the corner box. And I finally noticed that, hey, in 320, our boy's in the corner box. And I didn't even notice that. And he's still in it on this issue, too. So.
Yeah, they finally got the corner box right. I wonder that first issue, if, like, maybe, I don't know if something was done ahead of time, or maybe the lineup wasn't finalized. They're just like, throw Thor and Iron Man in there.
Yeah.
Throw Cap, Thor and Iron Man, whoever else you want in there.
And pick some other people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, because Grunwald did the backup stories for these. I wonder if he was like, yeah, I'll help you with those backup stories, but you got to put Quasar in the story.
Good point. That's a really good point. I wonder if that was The World May Never Know.
And,
I mean, Stingray's there, so I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe just like Stingray. I should have asked him that. But, no, maybe in the higher ups were like, oh, yeah, put Quasar there. We need to push some units.
Oh, yeah. Top left, too. That's a good spot.
We have this January in the mystery, Journey in the mystery we're doing. You got to get the word out.
Nice.
January. There you go, Will.
And I like Cersei, her head in the small box, it looks like she has one of those pillows that you wear taking on a flight, you know?
Looks like Moondragon with one of them pillows.
Yeah. Nice.
Air Canada.
But I was looking through, as I was reading this issue, I believe Quasar's headband stays the same color throughout the issue.
Now, that's got to be a first, right?
I know. And the corner box, the cover, everything. So.
Yeah.
Celebrate the small victories.
Yes. All right. So let's dive into Mr. Fabian Nicieza's not so favorite Avengers arc.
Cannonball then. Let's do that instead.
But yeah, check out that interview. It's great because he was like, talked about some of his remembrances from when he co-created Deadpool, and
cool.
Because he's like, all I got was a description of it was supposed to be a cross between like the Punisher and Spider-Man. And he's like, I could have made him grim and gritty like Cable. He's like, I could have made him like a Snake Eyes character where he didn't say a word. He's like, but I think I made the right choice and had him be a, like a smart ass like Spider-Man.
Yeah. I would agree. Good choice. Bravo.
He's like, I don't think a movie would have been made if he was like Snake Eyes or something.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
That's on the Just Capes and Lunatics one, right? Not a Sidekick.
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah. So, all right.
Oh, hey, yeah, put the link to that in the show notes.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
do that?
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, thanks, man. Mm-hmm. Promote myself? Sure, I guess I can. All right. So, The Crossing Line, Part 4, Avengers 322. There's Quasar right on the cover, right by the Alpha Flight blurb.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real Part 4, because the next issue we're going to talk about also says Part 4 at the top. Did you notice that? Yeah.
He was under stress, man.
Yeah, they were behind. They were behind.
True.
Or
at least that's whatever.
Wait till we get to Star Blast. Your head's gonna explode.
Oh yeah.
Because the numbers are made up and the order doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a very confusing one. Yeah.
So this is early September 1990. We get a Nicieza, Ryan, Ivy, Morelli, Witterstatter, Mackie, DeFalco production. That's all it says. They didn't even have time to put their first names in. That's how late this was. So you get the roll call, of course, Avengers, Captain America, Vision, Cersei, Quasar, Stingray, reserve status. Then the right side, Red Guardian, Vostok, Phantasma, Crimson Dynamo, Perun, and across the bottom, Alpha Flight, Guardian, Shaman, Box, Puck, Diamond Lil. And the title of this story? Bombs Away. So, we begin with the three heads bobbing up out of the water. St. John's is not a city accustomed to being the center of worldwide attention, nor is it prepared to be known throughout history as the place where World War III began. But with the skulking presence of the last vestiges of the Atlantean armed forces involving themselves in this nuclear showdown, St. John's may not have a choice. 6 hours, 13 minutes, and counting.
Let's see, that is Orca. Oh,
well, if you turn the page, it tells you.
Oh, it tells. Okay, cool.
Because the one's screaming for glory, honor, and revenge. Atlanteans attack, and then in the boxes it says, months ago, the undersea realm of Atlantis waged the war against the surface world. It is a war they lost. Wasn't that Atlantis attacks?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Since then, a few remaining soldiers, commanded by Tyrak, Morano, and Orca, have awaited the return of their people who fled during their city's destruction. When the British nuclear sub-Waterwind was commandeered by the Soviet terrorists calling themselves the Peace Corps, it strayed into the Atlantean sovereign waters. The Avengers and the People's Protectorate were able to prevent the Atlanteans from causing a catastrophic accident, and it appears they're going to have to do it again. See, back in the day, everyone, they had to recap every issue. This is before the days of recap pages. All right. So Quasar sees them and says, "Oh no, not them again." P-Run, what is it exactly that causes these creatures to seek out such constant abuse at our hands? And Crimson Dynamo, perhaps it is something in the water they drink. they drink, they live in.
And everything else in.
Yeah. Do they drink separate water? Are they drinking the water they're swimming in? I would be careful. I mean, they got some sweet jet skis. They don't want to drink that discharge from the oil in those.
Yeah.
They live in the water, Kona. I don't think they're worried about the discharge from the jet skis.
All right. Yeah. Maybe they have a certain pool that they drink from. I guess.
I don't know if you drink from that pool. It might be it might kill you. So is that a dead pool?
It could be.
See, it's Nicieza. See. Guardian, do not take this too lightly, people. There are thousands of civilians to protect. And below, on the deck of the submarine, Puck's figures, just when we're free, the British sailors take back the sub and eliminate one threat. We gotta start all over again. What better time for old Puck to quote Hamlet, and he does.
Wow.
Let the foil for a little man. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him if I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits. Okay.
All right. Who are you trying to impress, Puck? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Hamlet, not my favorite Shakespeare. Sorry.
So, let us smite the foul creatures. See, Thor's not there, so,
gotta have some smiting.
Yeah, some Russian smiting. Guardian says, I'll settle for keeping them from the water wind and our nuclear payload. She's like, Perun, Quasar? He's like, don't worry about it, Guardian. I'm on it, ma'am. And once again, Crimson Dynamo, the lad is so polite for an American.
Although nowadays, calling someone ma'am, they don't like that.
Yeah.
I know. If this was today, she'd be like, how old do you think I am?
Yeah.
Could have taken you to the prom, Junior. So Quasar throws a net around, which one is that? Is that Tyrak? And his jet ski. He says, I thought we already danced this number, Tyrak. I was able to hold you Atlanteans with my light powers when we first fought, and that was underwater. I don't want to hurt you, sir, so I suggest you don't fight back, or my net will tighten.
So this is the first of two instances where, getting back to where we talked about the trade and the powers from the sun, his light powers? It's a little,
yeah.
I mean, I know he doesn't always throw the Q word around in the early days, but I feel
like light powers. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like light powers.
It seems like if it's anyone but Grunwald, they're just like, oh yeah, he has light power.
Yeah. Whatever. What do you call it? The flashlight man.
Ever ready.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then we see Orca on a huge jet ski. You wish to pit your puny surface might against that of Orca, and man, Perun fat shaming. He's like, yeah. I blubber laden one. It's like, so be it. Orca is tired of talk. And Perun, I am offended by your breath, you bulbous buffoon. Be silent and accept the punishment at hand.
Wow, Perun's got a lot of sass, doesn't he?
I know, man.
Guy hates whales.
Is he Russian or Japanese?
Oh, true.
And then we get Guardian and Crimson Dynamo strafing them from the air. A combination of electromagnetic impulses should scramble their craft systems and Guardian and keep them from the water wind and the civilians on the hilltop, where we find Cersei, Phantasma, and Shaman. Cersei says, the others have the situation in hand, Shaman, but we have to remove the citizens of this fair burg from the immediate area. And he's like, agreed, Cersei, but it may be a time-consuming process. The teleportation spells obtainable in my mystic pouch can teleport no more than 10 or so at a time. And Phantasma's like, worry not, Mystic, I can manipulate the biofields of us all, masking our presence from the Atlantean senses. That should allow us freer access of movement. So, what, she can make it so that they can't see them?
I was a little confused.
I was going to say, why doesn't she, if she can do that, why doesn't she just blind the Atlanteans? See how well they fight if they can't see. That should allow us freer access of movement, and Cersei starts lifting people off the ground. while Phantasma does that, I can use my molecular abilities to telekinetically move the innocents from harm's way as well. Shaman says, let it be so. Take them to the Port Bay on the far side of the island. Meanwhile, below in the water, Tyrak, I don't know how, just rips through Quasar's net. Your feeble bands of light cannot stay the righteous wrath of anger anymore. Welp. Okay. So, are guys just supposed to be able to rip through that?
No.
He's just making puny nets in this arc.
Well, these are made of light, so...
Yeah, he's not using full quantum juice. They're just light. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This little light of mine. And he's like... Actually, sir, I was kind of taking it easy on you. And he says, do not seek to mock me, surface man. He grabs Look, doesn't Quasar have his energy, have a shield around him? But Tyrak grabs him by the cape, drags him down. Too many indignities my people endured at the hands of the surface world. Pollution, manipulations, unwarranted destructions, time and again, no more. This is just like beating on Quasar, because...
Yeah, he throws him face down onto the floor. Wow.
But he just grabs him through the field.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
And, yeah. And Guardian's like, Quasar's in trouble, Eugene, but I can't leave you unprotected. And he says, don't worry about me, Heather. I'm the new and improved version, remember? And Crimson Dynamo's taking on Morano. You're Morano, one of the older ones. Know that you realize the futility of your actions. And Morano says, better to die fighting than to cower in fear. Comes Dynamo. Better by far to live and fight constructively for the lives of your people. Man, Morano's like, you generate heat from your armor? Dynamo's like, only to dehydrate you and put you out of commission as painlessly as possible.
Ooh, he's making some special concessions for him then.
Another polite but tough guy.
The better to dehydrate you with, my dear.
I'll get you in your little armor too.
Yeah. Giant Red Riding Hood.
But meanwhile, Orca trying to smash Perun smashes his own jet ski. And while Perun says, you imbecilic, quivering bag of flesh, you're knocking us into the water. And he says, Orca is not as dumb as he looks, surface man. Orca fights underwater far better than you. And he's thinking, the oaf is right. I can only hold my breath for an hour or so. I'd best end this quickly. Again, scuba tank.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that like 2 episodes back. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Box coming in. Remember, he couldn't fit in the sub last episode, so he dove into the water. He's like, been working so hard trying to put the kibosh on the torpedo launch tubes. I didn't even see the Atlanteans approach. Well, it looks like Perun's going to need some help from Box to get out of this mess. And he goes on Spectre Gadget. He's like, grabbing an opponent from behind might not make the superhero highlight films, but combined with a good electrical jolt, it'll get the job done. And that's all that counts in war. And so he shocks Orca and he says, did I say good jolt? It took every bit of power the armor had left to knock Orca out. Box is useless now. Nothing but dead weight. Gotta phase out and head for the surface.
Talk about unboxing.
Nice.
Well, we're talking about this on YouTube, so is this like an unboxing video?
Yeah.
Well, tag it. You might get some more views.
Nice. And then he sees Perun offering him a hand and says, good, one helping hand deserves another. And he's like, I've still got my mutant metal transmutant powers, but I'm sure would rather have the armor for this fight if this fight keeps going on. And so, of course, they get to the surface. Perun's like, are you well, friend Jeffries? And he says, just a little out of breath, big guy. It's like, very good. I thank you for your help, and I will hit you very hard later for interfering in the only decent fray I've had in months. And Jeffries is like, fair enough. And inside the water wind, 4 hours, 20 minutes, and counting. Wait, so 4 hours, 20 minutes? So are they going to get blown sky high?
I think so.
So Red Guardian's questioning the guy he knows. Why are you doing this? Russian name. And Vostok's like, motives would appear to be mute at this point. And Cap says, no, Vostok, we're better able to understand why these men have taken the actions they have. We have a better chance of stopping this madness. And the Russian's like, you are a weak-willed, glass-knot-loving Glover, Red Guardian. You and your entire band of media mongrels are merely a new form of an old propaganda. And Red Guardian rips off his mask and says, no, look at me and say the same things. And finally the terrorist realizes who he is. And his comrade says, you know this puppet? And he says, oh, he knows me very well. He was my father's best friend. He was my sponsor for the Komsomol and the military academy, and my military academy instructor. Tell me now that I am not the product of what you have made me. And the terrorist is like, and I am the product of what the world has made me. I am a soldier, Joseph, a warrior. And the only way left for Mother Russia is to unite the nations of the world in a mutual goal, war. And Cap steps in and says, Colonel General, listen to what you're saying. And the other terrorist is saying, do not speak to them. They seek to temper our mettle. And the other one says, shut up. He says, Captain America, I respect you as an honorable soldier, but surely you can see the decline of the status of the world today. Do not suggest my country continue its policy of economic reform even when people do not have food to eat. In your own land, the dividing line between the the haves and have-nots is widening. And how can you believe triggering a nuclear confrontation, even a conventional war, could solve the ills you define? And Terra says, a wartime economy is a good economy, Captain. One need only look at historical precedent to see that the only way to save this world is, and the other terrorist sees vision of Vostok and says, get away from the wires, robots! Now! Uh-huh. And he switches the Russian. See what they do while you prattle your ideology away? We must act now! And Vision, of course. Again, take a drink every issue so far. Sir, my big companion and I are synthezoids, not robots, as you claim.
Love a good nitpick.
Yeah.
Every episode. Red Guardians comes back in and says, do you truly believe that you can generate world prosperity through global decimation? I believe no choice is left but to try, Joseph. And the other one keeps yelling, stop looking at the controls! We injure or die. Bombs explode. You mistake controls. Bombs explode. And Red Guardian's asking the guy, what about Anna? What and your children? What about my mother and sister? What happens to them? And he says, do not seek to distract me further. And meanwhile, Cap's talking to the synthezoids. Captain, I believe we can disconnect their cybernetic link to the nuclear arsenal given time. And he says they're linked that thorough vision that they can detonate the payload with the speed of thought. And Vostok, it would appear so, though they have to be giving the proper commands in order to do so. Cap said, then we'll have to take a chance, pick the right moment, sever the link fast enough so they don't know what's happening. Meanwhile, outside, on the high ground, Puck jumps up there. I guess he's with the sailors. He's like, Michael, how far are you sending them? And he says, far enough the way to protect them from the Atlanteans, not nearly far enough to protect them should the bombs explode. I am tiring, Eugene. We've been working for hours, but we still need more time. And Puck says, well, our boys below have been at it for quite a while, too, and they could use a little help, eh? So you keep at it, Michael. You think he's Canadian?
I don't know.
It's time for me.
Yeah, he hasn't said take off yet. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, hoser.
Take off.
It's time for me to bounce into the party as he jumps off the cliff. Guardian, give a man a little room as he cartwheels into some Atlanteans. And let's put these fish on ice. So 2 hours, 7 minutes, and counting. So between the scene on the sub and this scene here, it's been 2 hours. Over 2 hours. Okay. There's our friend Bonk.
Oh yeah.
And so Guardian's blasting Atlanteans. Thanks for the assist, Puck. We're all tiring fast. And he says, well, my compact little body's nearly indestructible now, Heather, so fatigue isn't a problem. Then Perun and Jeffries come back and says, oh, see you there, Jeffries? And he says, Quasar's in trouble. Aye. And who's that? Tyrak's like, where are your boasts and bravado now, fool? He says, I wasn't ever boasting, Tyrak, but Quasar's like, Quasar has a shield up. But you can continue to pound on my photon shield all you want until you tire. All right, switching from light to photons, yes. And Perun's like, it would seem the lad is in need of a god's help. Jeffrey's like, that would be you, right? He's like, ho, fish man. He zaps him with a lightning bolt. He says, "The battle comes to you now." And Heather's like, "Keep an eye on Madison for me, Puck." And he's like, "Jeffries, thought you two didn't care about you didn't care about him anymore." And she's like, "I don't in that way, but he's still an elfin. I'm going to do a flyby recon." Couldn't that simply be he's an alpha?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then so Guardian checks on Dynamo. She's like, "Cause he's still holding the Atlantean." She goes, How are you faring?" He says, "I've been holding Morano for almost 3 hours." I think they're going steady now. He says, "Do you realize what Atlanteans smell like when they sweat?" She's like, "I'll pass. Must be running low on power." He says, "I'm not quite sure. That's what makes this so interesting." She says, "Do you have enough juice to knock him out?" That's what he says, "I'm not sure." She says, "Well, if you don't mind, I'll take the risk factor out of your hands." And she picks him up, and I'll take Morano far away from the battle site. He's like, "What is this woman going to do? Throw him?" And you just see a loud pop.
Nice.
Whoosh boy, she didn't blow herself up, did she? And he says, "No, she's Canadian. They're too normal to be crazy."
I don't think that's a very normal thing to do, fly in the air and just go pop.
I think does that have to do with the end of the issue, or?
No, the Guardian armor could cancel out the Earth's rotation, and it would look like you're teleporting. You're just suddenly moving 1,000 miles an hour.
I think Iron Man did that for too. Yeah, because you like stop, and then the
Earth just continues to
spin
rotate
while you stay still. Yeah. So this seems to tick Quasar off, because he said, "That's it. It's time the Avengers showed a little what they can do." He said, "I've been holding back, Tyrak, both out of sympathy for your plight and respect for your principles, but you haven't appreciated one and ridiculed the other." So first he blasts him, and then makes a big fist and says, "So the kid gloves are off," and smashes him into the dock.
With a giant fist.
Yes!
Big uppercut. Like it, yeah.
Then Dynamo must get to him first and says, "Can we put a stop to this now?" And Tyrak's like, "Yes we can, once and for all, but it will have to be due to my death or yours." Again, giving them the choice.
Oh, that reminds me. We'll have to put a link to it. I'll share it with you later. But I've got Steve Lytle was doing sketches at a con years ago, and he did a Quasar versus Green Lantern with giant boxing gloves. It's
nice!
Awesome. I'll send you guys a link to it. I love it.
And of course, Quasar kicked his butt, because I think at least back then he had a weakness
yellow.
to yellow. Yes. All right. So inside the water wind. 15 minutes and counting. And again, Red Guardian's talking to the terrorist, and he goes, "Think of your daughter." And he's like, "What about the family she hopes to have? What chance has your unborn grandchild in a world you seek to create?" And the other one's like, "For hours they've been working. His resolve is weakening. He is not strong enough to carry out the task, but I am." He's like, "Hey, what is the robot doing?" Again, he's not a robot.
He's a synthezoid.
So I guess 5 minutes have passed, because now 10 minutes and counting. Vision says, "Now!" And Cap and Red Guardian smack the terrorists with their shields in the head, and Vostok says, "Be certain the relays are all disconnected." And so it must have been another 6 minutes, because now it's down to 4 minutes and counting. The terrorist says, "Oh, what have you idiots done? By severing the ties, you have automatically activated the failsafe." And Cap's like, "Failsafe?" Red Guardian's like, "Do you mean that?" 10 seconds and counting. To what? Well, the last page of the story has all you see is a giant mushroom cloud. I said,
"To be continued?" Question mark.
Yes.
I know. It's like everyone's dead. What do you? Come back next month. I don't know what you're gonna do, but everyone just died in a big mushroom cloud. There we go. So, yeah, big question mark. To be continued?
There we go. Perfect.
I'm going to get my nuclear bomb button here. Okay. So, once again, we get to another Avengers crew backup. This time it's Peggy Carter. Into the fire. She's in the communications room. It says, of all the rooms in the Avengers' new headquarters complex still under construction, this recently refurbished chamber may be the most vital, for it is here where the Avengers' eyes, ears, and mouth are situated. The three electronic organs would serve as the world's mightiest fighting teams linked with the world they have sworn to protect. The communications complex was custom built for the woman who is seated at her command chair for the very first time. Her name is Peggy Alexandra Carter, and she is a seasoned veteran of some of the top intelligence agencies of the free world. All right, and we're going to talk about some retcons here, although the retcons hadn't...
Yes.
Sliding time, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Alright, so she's inspecting all the new equipment. This is incredible. The specs on this place just don't prepare me for the exquisite perfection of this facility. Not even S.H.I.E.L.D. has a comm center this sophisticated. The technology here is state-of-the-art and then some. I'm so awestruck I can't even decide what system to try on first. I feel like a kid on Christmas with a million presents to open. So then she's going on about the screens, how it's like, instead of like a million small screens, the walls are basically just like giant screens, and she can move around and sort them any way she wants.
Hey, there's Quasar.
Oh yeah, Quasar's head, yeah.
Little cameo.
Because she's thinking about telling Cap about how happy the room is working, and world situation maps and all this, and I can program anywhere at any size around me, and the job's going to be easier. And she looks up Cap. Let's see, the last field report has him in Newfoundland with the rest of the team. I don't know if there's... I don't know. And she hits a button to try to raise him, and then on the screen she sees, what? My God, that's Sharon. News footage of her. She's like, did I punch up the video archives by mistake? And I've got to turn it off. And then Sharon's like, what do you think you're doing, big sister? See, at this point, she's still her sister.
Yeah.
But I know at least when they killed, spoiler, when they killed Peggy off in like, what is it, in the 2000s? Or maybe is it 2010 or 11? Something like
aunt,
that.
Right? Aunt.
Yeah, they make her the aunt because, you know, Peggy was still in World War II, and it's like, okay, well, her sister can't have been born like decades, you know. Even when they were doing the sister, then I think she even says in the story, aren't they like almost 20 years apart or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that gap just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like, she's got to be the aunt. She's like, this can't be happening. This isn't footage. It's like she's talking to me. It must be some malfunction. She tries to get rid of it, and then it's gone. Thank God. It's so weird. Did I just imagine it? I've been putting in long hours. And she's like, wait, I thought I saw something on the security video. And again, she sees Sharon in like pink fire.
Now, when did Sharon actually come? That was under Wade's run, right?
Yeah. That's when Wade took over right after Grunwald. Yeah, it's like the first arc when, after.
So that'd have been before Heroes Reborn. So
yeah, that was like right. Yeah, it was right when Wade took over, right before Heroes Reborn. Yeah, because because Cap's like, I saw you die, and she's like, yeah, on video footage. Boy, how convincing!
How could that have been
that?
faked?
That couldn't be faked. But I guess everyone thought she just like burned out. Well,
I mean, Peggy says, I checked your body, I checked your. We got to that part yet?
Oh yeah. Because she's like, it looks like Sharon's on fire walking down the corridor, and then she tries to call the others, and she's like, no one's responding. They're just sitting there in the kitchen. And Sharon says, hey Peg, got a visitor. And here she says, Sharon, it can't be you. You're dead. I saw the news footage. Everyone believes the fake footage. I saw the coroner's report identifying your remains. I went to your funeral. Well, I think the whole story was Wade had it where like she, I think Fury sent her like undercover, like out of the country and stuff. Yeah. So it's like,
fake death, yeah.
Nick Fury, at least that original, was a big SOB. I mean, Cap thought she was dead, her own sister thought she was dead.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, you lit yourself on fire under the brainwashing of that neo-Nazi group. Yeah, because they killed her off. I think it was it around like Cap 230 or
early.
Those Cap issues we're going to review at the end of December. I think it happened right after those.
Gotcha.
I think and then so that was like 230 something I think, and then Wade didn't bring her back until like. Yeah, it was right after Grunwald, so it was like 445 or 440, something like that.
Something in there, yeah.
It was like over 200 issues till they brought her back. And she says, sometimes the dead return. Captain America was reported dead, a victim of ice. He returned. I was reported dead, a victim of fire. I've returned too.
I don't think it works like that.
I know, that's what Sharon says. She's like, he wasn't really dead, he was in suspended animation, but there's just no way you could have survived. There's no way you could have survived what happened. Give it about 5 years, yeah, she'll.
Yeah.
And she said, don't be stupid, of course this is happening. I've come for you. You belong with me. Both of us were assigned by S.H.I.E.L.D. to infiltrate the National Force. We both did, but I was brainwashed and forced to self-immolate. You managed to escape with your life and mind intact. I became one with the fire, Peg. It didn't consume me. It just transformed me. Look, am I not a flame and yet unburnt? This is not happening. This is not happening, Peggy kept saying. I asked you, was that fair? You were supposed to take care of me, big sister. Remember what you told Mother and Father on my graduation day when I announced I wanted to follow in your footsteps and join S.H.I.E.L.D. You said you'd be there to keep me out of trouble. If death isn't trouble, Peggy Pooh, tell me what is. And she's like, I'm so sorry I wasn't there when it happened. I swear I'd rather it was me than you. I'm almost 20 years older than you. You deserve to have as much life as I have. There was nothing I could do. There is now. Take my hand. Join me in death. And she's like, what? Oh, okay. Oh, little sister, and they hug as looks like Peggy's set on fire. Next, Hour of the Wolf. Boy, I wonder who that could be.
I don't know. Captain America. It's Captain America. It's Cap.
Yeah.
Cap Wolf. Preemptive.
And wasn't it last issue we got the ad for the Spider-Man annuals that year? Now we got the Terminus.
Oh yeah, the Terminus. Yeah.
Speaking of our friend Terminus from many episodes back, yeah.
Was that 7? Quasar 7?
It was Quasar 7, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cap, Iron Man, Thor, and the Avengers West Coast annuals that year.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice short, only 5 annuals for one story.
Yeah.
It's pretty light. This is what we see later on down the road with 9 and 14 parters and
Evolutionary War, Atlantis Attacks. Yeah, those were 12 and 14, or big stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Terminus, an incredible, powerful alien being seeking to destroy Earth. In the past, he has failed. Thank you, Quasar. This time, he has brought some help.
I think like the Avengers annual of that has a really awesome Walter Simonson cover on it. If I
remember right.
Yeah.
Because they're on here, but they're kind of hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
No.
They're all flying toward the middle, I think.
Yeah. It's like Thor and then like Quasar holding Cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, nice.
So everyone's dead.
Yeah. I guess we're going back to Quasar. Oh wait, he's dead too. So okay, I guess that's the end of the podcast, right?
The line has been crossed.
That would be so funny. We're like, yeah, Quasar's dead. I guess we're done with the podcast.
Done.
We have one viewer that's so shit going, no! All right.
Oh, I was supposed to look up, and I searched, but I haven't been able to find the letter column in which Grunwald offers anybody who writes in with a self-addressed stamped envelope the everything there is to know about Quasar's quantum bands.
Oh.
I'm still looking. I think it was in the 20s somewhere, like the late 20s, but I haven't had much luck finding it yet. So
we should hold off on mailing in our SASEs.
Yeah, I'll get you I'll try to get you the address for maybe a future show.
Okay.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, should we get out of here? Well, for those of you on YouTube, is that you, Soshin? We're going to do the next episode in a few minutes. So,
yeah.
But otherwise, if you're on the podcast, you'll hear us next week.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. For you YouTubers, it is fitting that we do both part 4s in one night.
That's right. I wish I would have thought of that. I mean, like a night of 4s. Then all these people show up thinking like, oh, they're going to talk Fantastic Four.
No, it's Crossing Line Part 4 and Part 4.
They're like, oh man, even Fabian won't write off on this, and he wrote it.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to send your thoughts on this, or what's to come, because remember, we're going to run this through Avengers 325, and then we're going to do Quasar's first appearance, and then those early first appearances of Marvel Man in the Cap issues and the Hulk issues. So send your thoughts, and that'll be around holiday time. So yeah, if you want to send your Christmas list, please. You know it's on ours. More Quasar merch.
That's right. And it has Quasar has the best scene ever where a character renames himself.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up, just the best scene ever. Because he gets mocked by kids. I mean, it's just awesome. And we're going to do that one, so that's going to be great.
And it'll be around Christmas time, so we should just be like, oh, yeah, the kid said, you'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
All right, so send your thoughts on any of that. capesandlunatics@gmail.com, facebook.com/QuantumZonePod, @QuantumZonePod, and @CL Sidekicks on Twitter, Instagram, CL Sidekicks, and the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And also send any job offers for Matt Kona, but remember, he doesn't get out of bed for less than
a case of commemorative
some money. That's right. Matt Kona works for Coke. You heard
he works for Coke.
Speaking of Mr. Kona, where can people get a hold of you?
I am on social media. That's it. I'm on social media. Matt Kona, MATTKONA, Yale Matt Recap, the show that we just wrapped up. There's plenty of issues to dig back into. Look around if you're curious about a movie we talk about. Listen in. Maybe watch the movie first or listen in, or we could listen in instead of watching a strange horror movie. So that'll save you some time.
Do it at the same time.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like there's at least one of the recaps that's almost as long as the movie itself. But you'll have to tune in and figure that out on your own. But yeah, that's where I am. So thanks for checking it out.
All right, and Will, where can people talk to you?
I am at Wallred, WALLRED, on Twitter and Gmail. You can also find me, of course, at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org, and my self-published comic, Diary of Night, at diaryofnight.com.
And remember, you can hear him talking about that on Comic Capers.
That's right.
Right here on Capes Lunatic Sidekick. Scroll way down. I believe it's episode 13.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, because we're on episode 25 went up this week. So, yeah. So we have to scroll a little bit. It's worth it, though. Check it out. Give us another download. All right. So, everyone, join us next time. Or like I said, if you're on YouTube, you should be following us on YouTube. Or, follow us on our Facebook group. We'll tell you exactly when we're doing it live.
Oh, yeah, we can talk, next episode we'll talk a little bit more about what we were talking about on the group a little bit.
Okay. Cool. That's right, we gave him enough this episode.
Yeah.
I gave him an answer from the creator himself, the writer himself about this. Come on.
Exactly.
He's like, yeah, it ain't worth it. I wish I would have thought of that. I would have been like, sir, do you know how Quasar's powers work? You know what him would have been like, of course I don't.
We have this document for you. No.
I wrote this almost 30 years ago. I don't need that now. So stay tuned, Soshin. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Yep.
All right, Quantum Zoners. Remember, everyone's dead, but come back next time. We'll do something. And remember, Quantum Zoners, keep it quantum.